বলবীর বল উন্নত মম শির, শিরিনে হারি আমারি নত শির ওই শিখরে মাত্রের। বলবীর বল মহাবিশ্বের মহাকাশ ফাড়ি, চন্দ্র সূর্য গ্রহ তারা ছাড়ি, ভুলোক দুলোক গোলোক ভেদিয়া, খোদার আসন আরশ ছেদিয়া, উঠিয়াছে চির বিস্ময় আমি বিশ্ববিধাত্রীর। মম ললাটের রুদ্র ভগবান জলে, রাজ রাজ টিকা দীপ্ত জয়শ্রীর। বলবীর আমি চির উন্নত শির।
I'm really delighted to welcome all of you to the third annual Kazi Nazrul Endowed Lectureship. I'm especially honored to welcome His Excellency Humayun Kabir, the Ambassador of Bangladesh to the United States, and the Honorable Abu Zafar, who is the Consul General from Bangladesh. About 8 years ago, the Taranga Association of Southern California held a culture show at Cal State Northridge on the national poet of Bangladesh, Kazi Nazrul Islam. I was advisor for the South Asia Club, some of whom are here today, and I became involved and began to talk to the leaders of the Bangladeshi community here, such as Kazi Balal, who since moved, Shipper Chowdhury, Inamul Hamid. We began to talk about this poet who was so unknown in the West. We sat and talked for hours in restaurants and homes, and the result was the establishment of the Cal State University Kazi Nazrul Endowed Lectureship for Bengali Arts, Literature, and Culture. The South Asia Club and the Taranga Association hosted fundraisers, and interest in our efforts was brought to the attention of the Consul General, the previous Consul General of Bangladesh, then to the previous ambassador from Bangladesh, and finally the government itself in Bangladesh. We've had 2 incredibly well-attended lectureships with students, faculties all over the university. I really want to thank the people who've been involved in putting this together: the College of Humanities, the Taranga Association, Graduate Studies and Research in International Programs. I'd like to introduce the Dean of our college, Dr. Elizabeth Say, who's been incredibly supportive. And I would like to introduce to you our speakers for today. The first speaker, who will give his introductory remarks, is the honored ambassador himself, Humayun Kabir.
Despite being a very energetic, very egalitarian, a poet of universal character and appeal, he is not very much known. We share some of the responsibility of not being able to introduce Nazrul in his full stature to the Western world. For us, I mean, Nazrul is our national poet. We know all that. But I think today, when we talk about Kazi Nazrul Islam, it is important to understand what kind of message we get from him. And he was a great secularist in his approach. And I think it is important today to understand that what Nazrul taught us many years back has a great relevance even today, that the vibrancy that Nazrul created with his work has to be sustainable. And we can do justice to his writings, to his message, which we also value and really honor the diversity that today, I would say, nourishes our future, our present and our future. And we are trying, and you would be happy to know that Bangladesh is the only country in South Asia which is egalitarian, where people are taken, appreciated based on their own talent. They are not linked to any of their predecessors' social conditions, social status. So that is one area where Bangladesh can take pride. And perhaps this egalitarianism, sense of egalitarianism, is captured most eloquently in the writings of Nazrul. So I think that is also important to convey to the international community. the achievement or contribution of Nazrul. Here some people say, or some people may argue, that what is the relevance, or can Bangladesh sustain or nourish democracy? I think our egalitarian social systems is the strongest base or strongest area or strongest element that can sustain and promote and sustain democracy in Bangladesh. The social egalitarianism is the solid basis for democracy in Bangladesh. And I think if democracy is the creation of equal opportunity for everybody, then Bangladesh has that opportunity. Now it is up to us to build upon that and give due honor to Nazrul for his work and his message. It would be an investment in the future, investment in promoting Nazrul, and also investing in building a credible reputation for Bangladesh as a liberal, progressive, and democratic country.
That Dr. Rafiqul Islam has sent us a message, and it will be read to us quickly by Dr. Manmun Khan.
The message, as you said, from Professor Rafiqul Islam, who is chairman of the Board of Trustees, the Nazrul Institute in Dhaka, Bangladesh. As we believe firmly that the need for humanism has not been exhausted in the 21st century, then we cannot help but turning to Nazrul, who uttered that nothing is more powerful than human, not even greater speed.
The title of our endowment, the poet Kazi Nazrul Islam, and we have a speaker here today who deals with comparative literature and has dealt in depth with Kazi Nazrul Islam. His name is Dr. Kazi Nazrul, who also studied in the University of Dhaka, received his PhD from the State University of New York in English literature within the discipline of comparative literature. As an educator, he was cited by the Los Angeles Times for his outstanding contributions promoting understanding through the medium of language and cultural education. He has worked tirelessly to promote awareness of Kazi Nazrul Islam and Bangladeshi culture. Today, he's going to talk to you about Kazi Nazrul Islam and Bangladeshi culture.
I'm really delighted to be here today, but at the same time overwhelmed by emotion and sentiment. And I'm happy that His Excellency Ambassador of Bangladesh, Mr. Monkabir, is here, and Honorable Consul General Mr. Muhammad Abu Jafar is here, and Mr. Ashir Rahman is here also. It's a good opportunity to share my, sentiments or whatever I feel at this moment to share with everybody. And if I do something promoting Bengali literature and culture, the credit goes to Mr. Hassan Jahan, who is the editor of a newspaper here, ekush, where I got an opportunity to frequently express my views, and also Taranga of California. He gave me an opportunity to work for establishing Nazrul endowment. It is believed that achieving universality is the most cherished objective of a poet. Most major poets of this world aspired to become universal poets. Some of them were successful, many were not. However, no one thinks that to become a universal poet, one has to be a universal human being, implying that one must be able to address the entire human race and be in all places, in all times, with an in-depth knowledge and understanding of different cultures, customs, and traditions. Universality in literary arts can be achieved by confining oneself to his or her locality, to his or her own country. It is therefore no wonder that a famous romantic poet like John Keats understands, quote, "The great beauty of poetry is that it makes everything, every place interesting." As he writes to his brother George in 1819, when a poet can express his or her interest for everything and every place on earth, only then he or she can become a universal poet.